The year 1958 was marked by a series of historic moments and trends that left an indelible mark on the world's political, cultural, and social landscape. Join Facts vs. History as we present the most historic moments in the year 1958. U.S. events. In 1958, several significant events and developments shaped the course of U.S. history. The year marked the height of the Cold War, with tensions between the U.S. and Soviet Union continuing to escalate. In response to the growing threat of nuclear war, the U.S. government established the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, aka NASA, on July 29th. NASA's creation marked the beginning of the space race between the U.S. and Soviet Union, as both nations vied for supremacy in space exploration. Another pivotal event in 1958 was the passage of the National Defense Education Act on September 2nd. This legislation aimed to bolster American education and scientific research in response to the Soviet Union's successful launch of Sputnik in 1957. The NDEA provided funding for scholarships, low-interest loans, and improvement in science and mathematics education, ultimately contributing to advancements in technology and innovation in the years to come. On a social and civil rights front, 1958 saw the integration of Central High School in Little Rock, Arkansas. Following a landmark Supreme Court decision in Brown v. Board of Education in 1954, which declared racial segregation in public schools unconstitutional, the integration of Central High School became a symbol of the ongoing struggle for civil rights. World events. In 1958, several significant events occurred on the global stage, shaping world history in various ways. One of the most pivotal was the Cuban Revolution, which began in 1953 but reached a critical turning point in 58. Led by Fidel Castro and his revolutionary forces, the Cuban Revolution eventually led to the overthrow of the U.S.-backed dictator Fulgencio Batista on January 1, 1959. This event marked the rise of communism in Cuba and set the stage for decades of tense relations between the U.S. and Cuba, including the Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962. In the Middle East, 1958 saw the formation of the United Arab Republic on February 1st, a union between Egypt and Syria under the leadership of President Gamal Abdel Nasser. This union aimed to create a united Arab front against Western imperialism and regional instability. Although the UAR was short-lived, lasting until 1961, it represented a significant attempt at Arab unity and had lasting impacts on the politics of the Middle East. The 1958 World's Fair, known as the Brussels World's Fair or Expo 58, took place in Belgium from April 17th to October 19th. The event showcased technological and cultural achievements from around the world and marked the post-World War II era's optimism and desire for international cooperation and understanding. Music. 1958 was significant in popular music, marked by several notable events and developments. One of the most iconic occurred December 1st, when rock and roll legend Chuck Berry released his timeless hit single Johnny B. Good. This song went on to become one of the defining tracks of the rock and roll era, known for its electrifying guitar riff and enduring influence on subsequent generations of musicians. It also saw the emergence of doo-wop as a prominent genre in the music industry. Groups like the Penguins released their classic single Earth Angel in 1958, which became a major hit and a quintessential doo-wop ballad. The genre's smooth harmonies and romantic lyrics captivated audiences and left a mark on the music landscape. Johnny Cash recorded and released his iconic song Folsom Prison Blues in 58. The song's gritty and raw storytelling resonated with listeners and solidified Cash's status as a pioneer of outlaw country music. And 1958 saw the emergence of Buddy Holly and the Crickets, who released hits like Oh Boy and Rave On. Film and TV. In 1958, the world of popular film and television experienced several significant events. One of the standout moments in film was the release of Hitchcock's iconic thriller Vertigo. Starring James Stewart and Kim Novak, the film explored themes of obsession, identity, and psychological suspense, earning it a place among Hitchcock's most acclaimed works. On the small screen, the popular TV series The Twilight Zone made its debut October 2nd. Created by Rod Serling, this anthology series featured thought-provoking and often eerie stories that captivated audiences with their unique blend of science fiction, fantasy, and social commentary. In animated entertainment, Walt Disney's Sleeping Beauty premiered January 29th. The classic Disney fairy tale marked a significant achievement in animation, featuring intricate and stunning visuals, still celebrated for their artistic excellence today. 1958 saw the release of the acclaimed film adaptation of the Tennessee Williams play Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, starring Elizabeth Taylor and Paul Newman. And the popular sitcom The Honeymooners concluded its original run in '58. Starring Jackie Gleason as Ralph Cramden, the show had a lasting impact on the world of television comedy and remains a classic. Children's toys. One of the most iconic toys of the year was in the introduction of the hula hoop. This simple, plastic, circular hoop became an instant sensation, capturing the imagination of children and adults. The hula hoop craze swept across the U.S., leading to a nationwide phenomenon that involved hooping contests, demonstrations, and a cultural craze that lasted several years. Another notable toy that emerged was the introduction of the Barbie doll by Mattel. Created by Ruth Handler, Barbie represented a revolutionary concept in the toy industry, offering a fashion-forward, adult-like doll that allowed children to engage in imaginative play. And the introduction of the Etch-a-Sketch by Ohio Art Company marked a creative and innovative addition to the world of children's toy as well. Fashion. In 1958, the world of fashion experienced several distinct trends. One of the most prominent was the continuation of the new look introduced by Christian Dior in the late 40s. This silhouette emphasized a nipped-in waist, full skirts, and a more structured and feminine look. Another notable trend was the rise of casual wear and sportswear. It was exemplified by the popularity of the preppy style, inspired by the Ivy League look, which featured clean-cut lines, polo shirts, cardigans, and pleated skirts. The cost of common goods. In 1958, the cost of common goods and basic necessities in the U.S. reflected a different economic landscape than today. The price of a gallon of milk averaged around 50 cents, while a loaf of bread typically cost around 19 cents. Eggs were quite affordable, with a dozen eggs priced at about 28 cents. Gasoline, a significant expense for many households, was relatively inexpensive, with a gallon of gas averaging around 24 cents. The median cost of a house in 1958 was around $12,700, which, when adjusted for inflation, equates to a much lower price than one would expect to pay for a home in today's market. The affordability of housing during that time allowed many Americans to achieve home ownership more easily. In contrast, the median cost of a car in '58 was approximately $2,200. It's a significantly lower price than automobiles today, largely attributed to advances in technology, safety features, and inflation over the decades. Now it's time to hear from you. What are your strongest memories from the year 1958? Let us know in the comments section below.